Oh, is this really a water feature?
think
That would
so.
be awesome. Yeah, that'd be
I
awesome.
might be wrong with that.
No problem. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Gill Athletics Connections podcast. We're going to use this for our audio, so kind of speak up and
Okay,
speak into it a
sounds
little bit
good.
here. Super excited. Here we're live in, I almost said Madison, but I guess we're Middleton?
Middleton, very close to Madison.
Middleton.
Like a block.
The I was just say I had to drive through Madison to get here, but we are at one of my favorite track clinics in the entire country, the Wisconsin High School Track and Field and Cross Country Clinic here in Madison, Middleton, Wisconsin, annually every year here in Wisconsin. And one of the top ones. I go to Ohio, Wisconsin, Florida, California, been to all of them, and this is easily a top 5 clinic because of the participation rate. There's a ton of coaches. We're going to talk about their Thursday night program that they do called Women for Women, and I've got she's going to be a little embarrassed when I see I got the expert. I got the person who knows all about this, or at least enough that she's going to give us the 411 about this. Help me welcome KK. Help me welcome from Portage, Kari Krakow.
Yes.
I was going to go for it. That's
You
right.
got it.
Kari, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate that. Absolutely. Why don't we start with give us kind of a 30,000 foot level 3-minute version. Who are you? So what do you coach? Who do you coach? How do you do this?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is kind of my 20th season of coaching, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But I coach at Portage High School, so just about an hour north of here. I have always been a high jump sprint coach. Took over head coach a few years ago, and big part of the association. My former head coach was a past president, so that's how I got involved.
Is that right? Who was that?
Brad Meixner.
Yeah. Very cool. Now, you said sprints and high jump? Were you a
Yes, I was a distance and high jump, but when I moved to Portage and took the coaching job, we had distance coaches. So you come to clinics and you learn something new.
That's right.
I look back at some of my first sprint practice plans.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm like, what did I do to these kids? I was a distance runner forever. So come a long way. I'm very blessed in the position that I am as the host of the Gill Connections podcast. We're over 300 episodes now, so I'm not sure anybody has spoken to coaches as many times and as deep as I have been able to sit in the seat that I'm in. And one of the things that I have learned is, if a coach says, "Hey, I look back at my first few years and I'm just like, oh, I'm embarrassed." If they don't say that, I get a little concerned because it's like, wait a minute, you didn't know everything back then. No.
And are you still doing the same things today? That that's a little concerning. So I think that's a real show of humbleness and growth. So I think that's really cool. I get excited when I hear that. To be honest with you, it's a good thing to be. I think there, and I love high jump. That's one of my when I was a coach in college. It's my favorite because it's one of the more frustrating events because you don't get to pick a PR. The bar goes with the bar.
The bar goes with the bar. And I went to a very small high school and. We would all do field events and running events, 4 events, so we could score points. And, where I now coach Portage, it's a very much a mindset. If I'm a distance runner, I'm a distance runner. I don't do. And I'm like, no. Yeah. You can run distance and you can throw a shot put. You can run distance and high jump. So,
that's cool. Well, tell me, what is... tell me what is we're here Thursday night. Tonight we're going to do the Women for Women program. Tell us a little bit more about what that is.
So Women for Women was born about 10 years ago here in Wisconsin, and this will be our 9th Thursday night session where we are really just focused on our Women for Women network, and that's really what it is. It's a network of women coaches, simply because and I know you said it, not on this podcast, but my team is almost 50% women. But our clinic 10 years ago was about 18% women coaches. And we're now in the upper 20s, not 50%. But the key is many women coach on a staff of all men, and that's 100% fine. But it's also a way to connect with each other. We wear different colors, we have different mascots, but we can help each other out. So it's really just a network.
Now, this Women's for Women program, I've had a couple of instances with the Women for Women program, which I love. I know here, for at least the Wisconsin version, we have Brian and Erica Schultz. we can never keep people. So we're here live, but you never know who's going to pop in here. We're just doing a quick Women for Women expo. When you're at a clinic, coaches are everywhere. It's bound to happen. It's all good. But here, I think it's here, but you tell me if it's all for the Women for Women. Brian and Erica Schultz, I learned, first of all, I know about Brian and Erica Schultz because of last year being here for Women for Women program, doing an amazing job. What great philanthropists and leaders when they come to this Women's for Women's program. Brian, I didn't know this last year. What a stud. 2012 Wisconsin Hall of Fame here for high school track and field. Went on to Stanford. I mean, right there, that says everything I need to know. But I played football and ran track there and was on a Pac-8, I think back then, 4x1 team as well. This guy's a dude,
Quality.
Man. I was like,
yeah,
wow.
Exactly.
Tell me, do you know Brian and Erica Schultz's involvement? Is it the Women for Women in Wisconsin or the whole thing?
It is just in Wisconsin.
Okay,
so he was a former Arrowhead athlete. Yep. And, full disclosure, Women for Women got started by some of the men in our organization saying, hey, you know what, we really need to we need to do more and to support you and other women coaches. So they brought me in, just to kind of, head it up. But it was really their idea. And Jessica Bach out of Arrowhead, who still coaches there, was one of Brian Schultz's coaches. Yeah. And Brian heard about what we were doing and really just believed in that. And so thus they became a very generous fiscal sponsor. Cool. And we couldn't bring in the type of speakers that we have without them. Yeah. We also can keep it free. So we invite everyone tonight. Doesn't matter if you coach track and field or not. Right. Any coach, any level, anybody is welcome to come tonight. Yeah, I love that. As I have, again, I'm just very humbled by the seat that I sit in, interviewing some of the most, every coach is on our podcast is amazing. Some of the women coaches, just, especially our older ones that have been doing it for a long time, going back to their history of when there was no women's or girls track and field, and almost to a T, every one of them talks about there was a moment when they either saw another coach that was a female or finally had one for themselves, and how it was like, oh, wait a minute, this could be me. Right. And so the value of seeing that, I think, is extremely important. Do you find, as you've been doing this program, younger coaches that come in and go to this program are like, wait a minute, I kind of thought maybe I was alone, but I do have some people around me. You're exactly correct. And coming off of yesterday, right, National Women in Sports Day, right? I mean, we have to celebrate, those that are there. And I didn't have a female track coach until college. And that was when I was like, wait, you can make a job out of coaching track and field. Now, I did not go down that path. It's not my full-time job, but it is fun but that was a moment for me that I can do this, and it's a way to continue, your love for track and field after that last race is run. That's cool. Yeah. I love that. Well, speaking of tonight, so what can we expect tonight? Tonight, we have an incredible lineup, and I say this every year, but it only gets better. Our keynote speaker is Rose Monday. Yeah. I mean, come on. Yeah, she was an incredible athlete herself back in the day, and now went on to be a USA Olympic coach. I mean, so she's going to talk about the power of positive thinking and believing in yourself, and that's going to be a really good way to everything up. Now, we do have some event sessions tonight, but at 6:00, she's the only one talking. So no event sessions start until 7. We want everyone to focus on Rose. Yep, good. Yep. Yeah, she is amazing. I've known her for a long time. I have never met her. I can't wait tonight. Yeah, she is someone that doesn't get her due. She has, obviously been an Olympic coach. Again, full stop right there. But puts you in the Mount Rushmore of coaches right there. Correct. But also coaches some amazing, specifically 800-meter runners in this country. I think I really got to, first time I met her, I used to coach at Mississippi State, and I did not coach this young lady, but we had a young lady on our team, Tiffany McWilliams, who was a 2-flat half-miler, 4:09, 50. She actually set the collegiate record at 4:09. Wow. Which now I don't even think makes the finals. That's how crazy track and field is. But Rose and my head coach back then, Al Schmidt, was kind of that middle distance gurus, and I think they bounced a lot. So I've known her for a long time, and so when I saw her name as the marquee, the keynote, I'm like, oh, bingo, you got it. Yes. Worth the price of admission, even though there isn't one right there alone. So excited for that. Excited for her the title event. I think she's. I'm just really pumped for that. And so we're going to, we've got people here, obviously, here in Madison, but again, to help spread that message and spread that word, we're going to be on Twitter tonight at 6:00 Central Time and doing that live. As long as I can get a place to
power and all that kind of stuff. We'll have that on my Twitter at Mike Cunningham. So we'll make sure we're kind of spreading the message there. And then what happens after that?
Yeah, so at 7 o'clock, there is a breakout session. So you've got a choice of 3 different breakouts. The first one is going to be, or the first option, not in any order, Nadine Roving. She is one of our association members. She coaches at Oliva Strum High School.
Okay.
And she also coaches football.
Is that right?
Isn't that incredible? Yes.
Yes.
So she is going to talk a little bit about respect and the humorous approach that she has taken to being on not only, the track and the high jump path, that's her specialty, but also the sidelines on Friday nights because she's on part of the gridiron.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Now,
correct.
I had to make a hard choice because you have 3 people. You're going to tell us the other 2 here in a second because I can only live stream one at a time. And because of her title being, it says something about funny or something in it, I was like,
approach.
Yeah, that's right. I was like, well, that's what I want to do. Now that I did not know she was a football coach. That is so cool.
I know. So we really need to stream that, and she goes, nope, it's gonna be part of it. So I respect that.
I can't imagine, talking to lots of other women who are coaches, and there's sometimes a frustration when an official or another coach or athletes, if you're the women head coach is standing next to an assistant coach who's a man, and they automatically go to the man, which again, I have a lot of grace for that. It's very easy on my side to have that, by the way. But also know that, the majority are men. I can see that the mistake happening. But once it's corrected, then I kind of lose grace of like, you've been told who the head coach is, go to her. But I can't imagine as a football coach like that. I hate to say that I think it's a lot. I would assume it's worse, and I hate saying that for my football brothers and sisters out there. But I can't wait to hear her take
I know
on that.
It's gonna be great because they share the athletes, right? And that's what any good football track program does, is you share those athletes. How great for those men to see her in that role. I want to go to her practice sometime.
I didn't even make that connection, but of course, yes. Oh man. Well, I'm excited. We're going to have that one on Twitter at Mike Cunningham as well, and that's the 7 o'clock. That we'll do that. And what are the other 2 options?
So the 2 other sessions. One is Kisha Finch, and she is coming. She is a coach at Palo Verde High School in Nevada. So she comes every year. Her and her staff. Their other coach Nick is a Wisconsin boy, so he's got that connection in Southwest Wisconsin. And she has got a background. So she is going to be talking about the Red S, which is the former female athlete triad. So she's just going to talk about that and practical prevention. So that'll be a really interesting session as well.
Love that.
Yep. And our third is going to be from Allie or Alyssa. She goes by Allie though. Allie Lukey from Marshfield High School in Wisconsin. So we've got 3 high school coaches happening at 7 o'clock. Allie's focus is going to be on choosing your own adventure.
Okay.
And I'm really excited about that one. She was scheduled to speak last year, and unfortunately, things happen.
Yes.
She was unable to make it, and 'tis the world we live in some days.
That's
and
right.
So,
life
happens. And so we're really excited to see that and how she continually coaches. From what I know and love about her, everything like. Her daughter wanted to be a gymnast, but there was no gymnastics coach. So Allie's like, okay, I'm going to coach it. I know nothing about gymnastics, but I'm going to coach it. So she's that type of coach that's just going to make it happen. So we've got 3 really good options at 7 o'clock.
A big superpower of leaders is see a need, feel a need. That's exactly like her.
Exactly.
You want to do gymnastics? Cool, I'll learn gymnastics.
Exactly.
Oh, man. Yeah. Again, another example of like, don't let anything get in your way. Like my daughter wants to try it. Cool, I'll figure out how to coach. Oh, that's cool. Well, those are great options. And so we're done, right? We have 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. We just get to go home?
No.
What's after?
8 o'clock, the final finale. I'm going to call it the power panel.
I wrote that down. Power panel. I was, yes.
And so we're going to bring those 3 back as well as Rose Monday. So all 4 of our speakers. But then we're also going to bring in Joan Hunter, who is, big in the distance world. And we're going to have a panel of powerful women speaking. Awesome. And we've got a series of questions that they're going to answer. And, of course, you're going to be leading that. You're going to be moderating that one because that is what you do, and we love it.
That's right. Yeah, very humble to be around these leaders and to help. My job when I do things like that and things like this is to help bring out their stories, bring out their answers, and to bring as much value to the crowd, to those who are there to listen. So really excited. First of all, this will be one of the easier ones I've ever done because I've got 4 just like really articulate, smart people. So I get to just kind of ask the question, sit back, and really just order questions. Like, oh, you said that? Okay, let's go to this question then. So really pumped for that. And I think, when I've done been a lot of clinics, the USTF CCCA, obviously Wisconsin, and other clinics around, there's a lot of value for when someone gets up there and speaks to the crowd, ton of value there. I always find that audiences walk away with more value when there is a Q&A, because there's more of like, hey, here's a situation I've dealt with. How would you, like, you get to ask you
get to kind of, and then hear what they would do. Yeah, which is really great.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. And then we have a big picture to take of everybody. I saw that in the notes right after we get over our Q&A.
We're going to take a big picture. We are.
Oh yeah, Rose, we're doing live right now on YouTube talking about tonight, Women for Women.
How cute I am.
Exactly.
Rose Monday is here with us.
We did not bring up the dancing though, did we? No.
But now we know you have hidden talent.
That's right. So yeah, we're just kind of sharing the news about tonight and getting people pumped to. We're going to do for your 6 o'clock keynote. We're going to do, obviously we have our people here that are going to watch. I'm going to do live on Twitter as well to help spread your message and everything. So we get more people involved in hearing the good thing. Oh yeah, you're real nervous, right? Yeah, I know, Rose.
You guys, you know what? I'm really shy, I know it's hard to believe, but I mean, there are moments. I used to be extremely shy.
Yeah.
I had to work on getting this out of me, and running definitely helped.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I remember the last keynote speech I did. The first, this is the second.
Yeah.
Okay. The first one was in 2007, and they said, will you do the keynote speech for this prestigious private school, their sports, banquet? And I'm thinking, why did they want me? And then they were reading, accomplishments, and I thought, oh gosh, they were talking about you or you. I was so impressed.
Right. Yeah. Right.
That was a defining moment.
Like, yeah.
Being thankful for the journey.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't the journey I thought it would be.
You have seen it as coaches. To me, when I say the biggest superpower of a coach is they see something in others before they see it in themselves.
Right.
You've talked to athletes many times going, hey, you can be an All-American, half miler, an Olympian, whatever, et cetera, right? And they like, coach, you're proud of how? And then you coach them and they go out and do it, right? Yeah. It's the same thing with public speaking, keynote speaking, this. It's like, hey, someone in 07 said, hey, I see this in you. Can you do this? And look what it's born. It's going to continue to grow. Yeah. I love that. So, very cool.
Well, good. Well, I'm getting some coffee because I don't know why I feel sleepy, but I feel sleepy.
You'll be awake at 6 o'clock. I know that.
My heart will be going,
Yeah.
So I don't have to worry about yawning.
Right.
But,
well, we're excited for that. And then we're also doing the Q&A at 8 o'clock, 6, 7, 8. Yep. Awesome. And I'll be moderating that.
Too, Terry, right? You're on the panel too?
Yep.
Nope, I am. Oh. Nope, I'm not.
You're not. Oh.
I'm not. I'm just in support.
Okay.
So
I'm moderating for you guys.
Yes.
I'll help with questions and order and things like that. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited.
Absolutely.
This is super fun, and thanks for grateful that Mark asked me to do it.
We're pumped to have you here. Absolutely.
Cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. Well, I've had great mentors, and that's my job to give back.
We were talking. I think you and I first met way back in now.
I know we've met.
04, 05. I was at Mississippi State back with Tiffany McWilliams. Al Schmidt was my head coach, my boss there, and I feel like there was a lot of conversations between you two when we were working with Tiffany and things like that. That's I feel
because back then I was in development.
Yeah.
And I was a development coordinator for USA Track.
That's what I thought I remember.
So I was making sure that she had racing opportunities coming out of college.
Yeah. That's what I remember. I was like, I think that's when I first met is during the Tiffany Al Schmidt. I think that's when I first met you.
And is he still at Mississippi State?
Retired, but still living in Starkville. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, doing good. He's a hard guy to retire.
You live there too?
No, I'm now with Gill Athletics. I'm in Champaign, Illinois.
Okay.
Yeah.
At the headquarters.
This one. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, you'll have to tell him I said hi the next time you see him. It's always fun. I mean, that's the coolest thing about track is you may not see somebody for 20 years and you pick up the phone and, hey, so anyway, what I was saying. Right. Pick up where you left off.
I love that. Awesome. Cool. All right, well, we'll see you soon. We're going to finish up here. And again, thank you so much for being here.
No, it was a great interruption. We couldn't have planned that better.
No. You're all good. That's all part of it. We're good.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Rose. Appreciate it. Again, you're in a track clinic, so you're going to get interrupted. But boy, what a great one to be interrupted by. Come on, man. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Absolutely. Okay, so where were we? We went through, we got 6 o'clock keynote, we have 7 o'clock, we have 3 different leaders speaking to us, and then 8 o'clock we do the Q&A, the panel, and then 9 o'clock we start the Wisconsin social, because I think we have part of the Wisconsin Track Clinic going on.
There is.
Yeah,
So there's a couple of sessions at 7 and 8, UW coaches, some roundtable sessions, and but then we'll all come together at 9 o'clock.
Oh, that is everybody
social.
together, right. Mm-hmm. So, Kari, help me out. The cool thing about these podcasts and YouTube videos is what I call evergreen content, meaning certainly it's right here and in the moment, but someone is going to hear this a year from now, 2 years, 5 years, the internet's forever, 10 years from now, someone's going to hear this. And this is someone in Alabama, Arizona, Nevada is going to hear this and be like, hey, this sounds like a good program. How do I maybe bring this to my state? Or I love how the specifically, non-specifically, men coaches here in Wisconsin said, hey, we need to do something here. Maybe there's someone in, again, Texas says, hey, wait a minute, we have women coaches. How do we do that? Is there a way to bring women for women there? Or what kind of advice do you have there?
So when we got going about 10 years ago, small, we've grown. A man in Minnesota reached out to us 6 years ago, Mark Elkhorn, and he said, I love what you're doing. We need it in Minnesota. And then he connected me with their president-elect, Megan Orgman, who has been on your podcast. Megan, so now
we have her, by the way.
Yes, we have Minnesota, Wisconsin, Women for Women. And you can find us on social media.
Okay.
Recently, North Dakota's coming in. And so we connected with our good friend who is a clinician here, Jamie Watson, a couple years ago. And so she's starting it in North Dakota. So find us, reach us, reach out to us. We want to help you. And why reinvent the wheel? Work smarter, not harder, right?
Absolutely.
We've done it. We've got ideas in terms of, things you can do, even just, networking opportunities you can organize for your coaches.
Does the Minnesota Women for Women look like Wisconsin? Meaning, is there like a night before, whatever?
There? Yes, they do I think just one session. But it's the night before their coaches clinic. So they kind of did a lot what we do, which is perfect. And then bring in everybody that wants to come for free. And then, they kind of just do the same thing. It's a time to have a dedicated Women for Women time when the people aren't having to choose like, oh, do I want to go? I don't have a throw right now. I'm going to throw sessions this weekend. But I wouldn't want to have to choose between Women for Women and throws.
Right. Yeah. So, that makes a lot of sense. Good. And who would they contact? Is it you? Is it Megan?
You can reach out to me. Again, find us on social media, direct message us. That's fine. DM. Absolutely. We would love to have that conversation and help you get going.
When you say social, tell me specifically.
So we are on Instagram. We are on Twitter, X. Sorry.
No, it's always Twitter for me. Don't worry. No. It is Twitter forever.
Well, you send a tweet. How do you?
That's what I'm saying. That's
why.
How
do you translate that to X?
That's why I don't.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then of course Instagram, Facebook, and
Twitter, Instagram. Okay, so you're in the big three. That's the big three.
We are. And then Jamie from North Dakota at the USTF CCCA convention this year, she wanted to start a newsletter. So our first newsletter is coming out. I'll make sure you get a copy of that.
Okay.
And then to share on socials.
Yeah. So, okay. So if I want to sign up for that, I can hit you up on the social. Okay. Perfect.
We'll have a sign up link.
Good.
Coming.
So here's, I know there are people listening from around the country, no matter what state you're in, New York, etc. Here, Illinois, where I am, I'm gonna put a challenge out there. So, like she said, it has to start somewhere, right? It doesn't. This is an amazing program tonight. I mean, this is like creme de la creme. Rose Monday's here, Olympic coach. You have a panel or 3 different sessions after that. Then you have a panel. That's amazing, and I want to continue to see this grow as well, Kari. But it doesn't have to be. You said Minnesota is one. Yeah. So I'm going to challenge if you are track clinic adjacent, whether you run or help run a clinic or you've spoken at a clinic, I'm going to challenge you to reach out to the director, whomever chooses, what the different things are, and get this started. Contact these guys and get it started with one session. Start with one session because one session is better than 0. And then we can grow it out from there. But it has to, kind of like starting a fire, kindling, it has to start somewhere. And I have to guess, this may be a terrible guess, but in every state we have coaches who are women. So maybe this is something that's important to not only help the women who are today coaches, but help people tomorrow that are going to be coaches see that this is a very viable. I can't wait. I've gone over the questions for tonight. There's some like for me as an outside observer, great questions like, hey, so how do you do this? How do we help people today who maybe see no future in coaching, that there is a future in coaching? So super excited about that. So tonight, we got this. Here we are at 6 o'clock tonight, all Central Time, 6 o'clock tonight on at Mike Cunningham. We'll have Rose Monday at 7. Nadine is who I'm going to choose for that one because it's funny and I like humorous stuff. So, and now I'm blown away by this football coach.
Yeah.
Love that. I'd like to be one day where I'm not blown away that a woman is a football coach. To be honest with you,
isn't right. It's almost sad that like those things make news. You know, like,
it's correct. Good point.
But we want to celebrate that.
That's
we
right.
do.
That's
but
right.
it's like, you know, when it makes there's a women NFL referee.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
Like that's a big news.
It was a big deal. I remember watching a Chiefs game because my daughter is a Taylor Swift fan, so this is who we watch.
Yeah.
And I paused the TV or something to try to listen to somebody else, and it paused on the referee, and she's a woman, and I was like, "Hey, Cass," and my daughter was like, "Well, yeah, my mom," and I was like, "Well, why am I like I'm not surprised?" But it was like it's not common, and you know, for people, I've had people behind the scenes say, like specifically for women being football coaches, like, well, there is no women's football, which true air quotes because you know women's flag football is becoming huge and there are women who play football, etc. However, I always look at my track coaches and I go, well, wait a minute, I got lots of track coaches who are like awesome at events that they never did. So why does a person have to play the sport?
Exactly.
I don't get that connection. It may help or speed up the process, but it doesn't mean that there is no process there. So I definitely challenge anybody who says a woman can't coach football. We just got to keep giving the opportunities out there for when they deserve it. So, all right. So that's a challenge. That's tonight on Twitter at 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock. And then I'm going to try to do the panel on Twitter Live as well. But because you have so many people, the volume may not be great. But I may do it anyway, so that whatever you do here, and it'll be awesome. And then for me, tomorrow I'm moderating the panel for distance coaches, and then. And this is, I'm just so humbled that I am allowed to do this. I MC tomorrow night's anniversary dinner starting at 7 o'clock. And, you know, it's I got to do it last year for the first time, which it blew me away. I mean, Wisconsin track and field is strong, guys. Let me just give you that for you out-of-staters here. It's amazing. What an amazing night. And tonight, talking about women and women coaches and strong moms, Lashinda Demas, the London 2012 gold medalist in the 400 hurdles, is our keynote. And I'm pumped for it because I know her story a little bit, and I'm excited to hear it straight from her perspective.
We will celebrate her.
I love it. I love it. So, Kari, KK, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike.
I'm very not only doing this, obviously, I'm always pumped when people join us online and share our stories and share the successes and wins that we have. But thank you for being a track coach. It literally is my whole life. Like my life, when I look at my children and my wife and the things I get to do, I don't get to do it at all without people choosing to be track coaches. So I'm so grateful for what you do for our young people, the positive impact that you make there. And I'm glad that you continue that leadership and help others, specifically with tonight's program, other women coaches out there, other female coaches, and helping them see that, that they are worthy, they are valued, and that their leadership matters. And we need to continue to grow that.
Right. If she can see her, she can be her.
That's it. I love that. Awesome. Thank you for being here. Thank you guys for being here. Again, join us tonight on Twitter at Mike Cunningham. And if you're hearing this in the future, because that's how podcast land works, get a hold of Women for Women on social media. And again, my challenge, get this started in your clinics one way or another. Middle school clinics, high school clinics, USTFCA. We should have something there, Sam Seams. We need to get this rolling because these people are important, and they're important to our future of our sport. So thanks for being here, guys. We'll catch you soon later on tonight. All right? See you guys. Awesome.
Perfect.